I know I say this often, but this week is a big week. Today we had JOLTS numbers, which are basically job openings in the United States, which came in better than expected. Although they revised the previous number down slightly, it was largely considered a positive number for the jobs market in the United States. However, tomorrow we have ISM Services PMI, which is one of my favorite economic indicators to look at. It basically surveys a bunch of purchasing managers in the services part of the US economy, which is a huge, by the way, majority of the US economy. So we get an insight into how purchasing managers and decision makers in the economy feel about the economy going forward. That's why it's kind of a forward-looking indicator and one of my personal favorites. And on Friday, of course, we get the big jobs number. We get the unemployment rate, the actual numbers of jobs added in the United States, and of course, we get the average hourly earnings, which is wages going up or down, which is actually very important to the inflation story as well. So as we go into a critical week, I want to try and get us ready for all of this data and take a quick look, first of all, at where we are currently. Before we get all this new data, let's just take a moment to analyze where we are in terms of, are things bullish? Are things bearish? What does gold look like? Should it go up? Should it go down? What are the stock markets doing right now? All of that we're going to jump into in this video. And as we get started, I do want to just ask, if you're new to my channel and enjoy my commentary, make sure to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to this channel. Let's jump in. So on a price action basis, first of all, for the S&P 500, you can see we are just at about the all-time highs at the time of recording this video, which makes people nervous. I mean, heck, it makes me nervous, just to be frank. Whenever we are at all-time highs, I get a little bit wobbly, just simply because nobody wants to be the last one to buy the stock market before it crashes. However, I don't necessarily think that a crash is very likely in the short run. We've got a lot of positive things on our side, and it's made visible by the EdgeFinder's current plus 10 score on S&P 500 and NASDAQ. Let's break this down just quickly. So I just pulled up the EdgeFinder's stock indices scanner, and we can see all of the different score mechanisms here behind why the S&P 500 specifically is getting a plus 10 reading, which is very bullish. First of all, we can see the commitment of traders data leans bullish slightly, but specifically, they just recently added more long positions overall to the balance here when it comes to the commitment of traders data, which tracks institutional money. They're getting more bullish, which I think is very interesting. So big money seems to be continuing to pile in long to the indices as they continue to trend higher. Seasonality is also very strong in the month of November and in the month of December for, historically speaking, indices specifically. So seasonality is considered very bullish in the month of December, which we take as a tailwind when factoring in our score. So another positive 2 score for the total EdgeFinder score on SPX. The trend is to the upside, which is very obvious with us being at all-time highs. And manufacturing PMI data came out good recently. The last round of services PMI, which is subject to potentially change this week. As I mentioned, tomorrow we get fresh data. Could change the score, but overall we see retail sales looking strong. Inflation is not a threat, but also not in the perfect scenario. And then unemployment data looks pretty good. Unemployment rate still relatively low, trended lower actually in the last one. And then employment change, right? We had that bad jobs numbers last month, but we get fresh data this week, so we'll see how this shapes up in the jobs market. And the interest rates front, it does seem like rates are falling here recently. I'm talking specifically about the 2-year yield, which is trending lower recently, which is another positive for the S&P. And while we're looking at the EdgeFinder and all of its really cool features, I just wanted to mention that the EdgeFinder sale that we were running last month did get extended through the end of this week with Cyber Monday. So if you have not taken advantage of our mega discounts going on right now on the EdgeFinder, the Stock Box, or our VIP group, everything is currently 40% off. And if you have any questions, you can send a direct message to our support team down below in the description. There is a Talk To link, which is a live chat direct message center where you can speak to our support team anytime. They can get you set up with payment plans. They can allow you to pay with crypto if that's something you're interested, and answer any questions you have about how the tool functions and its different use cases. So don't miss out on the biggest sale of the year, which is ending very soon. Now back to the video. So I do kind of like the idea of getting long either the S&P 500 and or the NASDAQ, but NASDAQ looks very similar. What I'd be looking for here would be either a break and retest on these things or a retest, basically a pullback into some key levels of support. Now you might say, I get this question often, well, Nick, if you're bullish in all three scenarios, why don't you just buy right now? And the answer for that is because when I'm actually trying to be I'm not looking to just passively invest here. I'm looking to actively trade. And the reason I like the idea of a break and retest is because then I get a much better idea of what my risk to reward could look like. What I mean by that is if we have this big level of resistance and we take this out, that's a clear sign that bulls look pretty strong. And if we retest that area, I have a pretty good idea of where I want to put a stop loss and I can manage my risk appropriately. Same thing could be said if we don't break out, we actually go back and retest some areas here, I still can put a pretty targeted stop loss to know where I'm wrong. And it does happen. I'm often wrong in the markets. It's very hard to be right all the time, but more important than being right all the time is managing when you're wrong. Taking a look at gold here as well, I am actually sort of bullish. We've got a nice score. If we take a look at gold overall, you can see we're at a +4, which is pretty close to a bullish reading. Retail sentiment's going against us a little bit here, and what I'd be looking for would be if the score can get up a little bit higher for gold on the EdgeFinder's overall score, that'd be great, but I'd also like to see some technical breakouts here, perhaps through that 2700 level, and then I'm very interested in possible gold buys. The dollar index looks a little top heavy in the short run. We had a big run up to 108 and then gave back a ton of move here. However, I do still think that even if you're bullish on the dollar, we still have some room, in my view, to head back and test the 38.2% retracement, or maybe the 50 or even the 61.8% retracement. All of that still falls in the realm of a possible bullish scenario. So I'm keeping an eye on this one because, again, I think the dollar may actually have room to cool off a little bit after its massive run recently, which, by the way, would lean more towards a nice breakout to the upside for gold. I also want to talk momentarily about Bitcoin, which is currently also getting a bullish rating on the EdgeFinder. And if we just pull up the price of Bitcoin, you can see we are pretty close to the all-time highs. It was looking like it was going to give us a little bit more of a pullback. I mentioned today in the live stream that I'd be interested in possibly getting access or getting into another bullish position on Bitcoin if we can get a little closer to that 92,000 level and still hold up a bullish rating. If I take that trade, again, I'll share it inside of the VIP room. And I should also mention in the celebrations of Cyber Monday, I know you've probably gotten bombarded with different deals and offers. Just wanted to also throw out that if you'd like to join our Discord, that too is also currently 40% off. All the information is in the description below. And I do want to share or end this video with a bit of a personal note, but it's also still trading related. I actually yesterday closed on a home with my wife that we have been, this is something that, many people aspire to someday own a home, but I talked a little bit about it on the live stream and related it back to how trading has sort of helped me get to this point in my life. I know, people show off Lambos and lifestyle, but here's a real personal testament to how trading has helped me in terms of getting to the point where I was able to actually put a down payment on a home. Even in a really tough home buying environment, my wife and I are really fortunate, really blessed, and really excited. So check this out. Yesterday, I actually ended up closing on a house with my wife. I know that everybody has the goal of, well, most people have a goal of owning a home or something like that. But for me and my wife, that's been something that's been extra special. But for me, on a personal note, I said this once before on the stream, but a large component of the down payment that went towards our home came from trading. And I say that as, if I could go back and let, early days Trader Nick know that that came true, it would be it was a very special thing. Long story short, trading has changed my life in many ways. But when I say trading helped make the down payment, I'm not talking about, YouTube and social media and the software business. I'm talking about straight up the returns that I have made in the markets. I took a good chunk of them recently, and that is what paid for a component of the down payment on our home. So it's, take that as you will. Let it be maybe motivational to you. I don't know. I'm just going to say that for me personally, that was always a goal for me. That was always the end goal with trading was, I love the markets. I love learning about the financial markets. But at the end of the day, finance is all about dollar signs and all that sort of thing. And just as a milestone, that was sort of the highest totem pole item for me. I don't really have anything past that. Now it's just trading because I absolutely love it. So yeah, thank you very much for the congratulations. I appreciate it. It's a nice home. We're blessed. We're very grateful to be able to do that at our age. Yeah, stay true to your dreams. I'm not giving a very good motivational speak. It might be still that I'm overcoming my my illnesses, but it's worth it. The hard work is worth it. But I will say, the last thing I'll say on that note before we get into some chart analysis, because I know you guys don't care this much. Last thing I will say about it is focusing on being able to put a down payment on a house through my trading is not what made it so that I could use my trading profits to put a down payment on a house. Those things, that wasn't the motivation. Being able to afford a home is not the motivation for why I became a decent trader. I became a decent trader because I loved learning about the markets. Like, it was not about money, and suddenly it yielded something years and years and years and years later. I've been doing this for 8 years, 9 years. I've done this for a long time. So this was not an overnight thing. I've almost been at it for a decade, learning more and more every day, getting punched in the gut by the market countless times. So, it's one of those things. Every day you can learn something, and that's kind of the beauty of markets. If you're looking for a better brokerage, then stick around for a second. I'm going to tell you how you can get some free sign-up perks with great brokerages all around the world. Whether you trade FX or indices, commodities, futures, all of the above, I'm going to show you a really cool way that you can get free sign-up perks with your new account. So if you're interested in switching into a different brokerage, you can get things like deposit bonuses or free stock shares, or you can even get access to some of our products for completely free. All you have to do to find out current perks being offered to new depositors is go to a1trading.com/brokers. That's a1trading.com/brokers. And as you look at that page, you'll see all these different offerings that we've currently locked down for you guys as subscribers, as viewers. Now, of course, we get something out of this. If you choose to use these links, you'll be supporting our page. But in return for the viewers, we've got great sign-up perks available for you guys so that you get some free game just by signing up for a brokerage if you're looking to do so. So check it out on our website. You can find current deals at a1trading.com/brokers. Thanks for watching this video, and on the screen right now you'll see some other options of other videos we put together that might be helpful to you in your trading career. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.